Hey there, mandolin player. In this lesson, we're actually going to give you a version of Tennessee Blues that's a little more akin to what modern players tend to prefer when they're checking this tune out. So Tennessee Blues is a Bill Monroe composition, and he originally had what I like to call some crooked measures in there, or just extra beats, like 2 extra beats that were sprinkled into some of the sections. Now, obviously, as time goes on, people try to learn this tune. They play it in jam sessions and they can't quite nail those crooked beats. So what a lot of folks have ended up doing is taking those measures of 2 beats and extending them out into 4 beats to make this more of a square, kind of standard sounding bluegrass form. Now, I'm not going to get into the debate of which one is better or which one you should be playing, but we want to provide you with both versions of that tune here on the channel, just so you can kind of adapt it to whatever situation you find yourself in, okay? So if you're interested in learning that square version of this tune, stay tuned. Before we go ahead and dive into the lesson though, if you haven't had a chance, hit that subscribe button below and the bell notification button. That way you'll get notified whenever we upload a lesson here to the Mandolin Secrets channel. Also, if you're interested in things like PDFs of the tab and sheet music, as well as backing tracks, play-alongs, and access to monthly Q&A calls where you can ask me or Magnus Zetterlund all of your questions live and in real time, check out the link below in the description to Mandolin Secrets Academy. There you'll find all the information for how to sign up for all of those extras. Okay, my friend, I'm not going to talk too much in this lesson today, but just know that this version is kind of more akin to what Chris Thile and Michael Daves play, at least as far as the timing goes on their version. So if you want to kind of compare and contrast versions of Tennessee Blues, I would cue up that version by Bill Monroe and then the version from Chris Thile and Michael Daves, and see if you can pick out the differences in beats, okay? And if that's something that you can't quite do here, let's go ahead and cue up a version of this tune at 220 beats per minute. This is now, like I said, the straightened out rendition of this tune. So see if you can count along and recognize where I'm adding those 2 extra beats to the original version in order to straighten this one out, okay? Let's get that version queued up at 220. Alright, mandolin player, could you do it? Could you count where those extra beats were? If not, I would say rewind the video and kind of compare and contrast this to the other version that we have here on the channel. I think you're going to get a lot of value out of trying to find those spots yourself, because really, that's what led to this straightened out version being created. People were unable to or unaware of those spots where the 2 extra beats kind of happen. So I think there's a lot to be said to do that kind of work yourself, and you can always just look at the tab that I've got written out here inside of the Mandolin Secrets Academy if you can't quite get it on your own, okay? So enough of the yakking on this tune. Let's go ahead and dive straight into a version of the straightened out version of Tennessee Blues at 160 beats per minute. If this is a little too fast for you, don't worry. Just kick back and watch it for now to try and get some of the motions in that I'm using in my left and right hand. And then you can kind of go back and check it out. Also, I'm going to queue up a version at 100 beats per minute after this, so it'll be a little slower so you can maybe follow along on that one too. But first, let's get that version at 160. Okay, mandolin player, that's it for the fast version. Let's dive into that slow breakdown of the tune. If this is still too fast for you though, don't hesitate to hit that gear icon below and adjust the speed of the video down. It's a great tool that we have at our disposal here, and I think you'll get a lot out of it if these notes are flying by a little too fast for you, okay? Let's dive into Tennessee Blues, the straightened out version at 100 beats per minute. All right, mandolin player, that's it for the straightened out version of Tennessee Blues. So with this version in your back pocket, as well as the Monroe version, you're going to be able to tackle this tune in any jam session that you get thrown into, I promise, okay? Before we get out of here, drop us a comment below. I asked this in my last video, but I'm going to ask it again. Now that you've seen both versions of the tune, which one do you prefer? I still kind of prefer that crooked version that Monroe wrote, like I said, because it's a little more unique compared to some other bluegrass tunes. But this one fits really nicely with a lot of other kind of standard form bluegrass tunes. So it's kind of up to you. You know, I don't want to get too much into the middle of that debate, but it would be cool to know your preference below. All right, my friend, thanks so much for tuning into this lesson. We'll catch you in the next video.